What's up, family, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to the Tony Rome Show. And before we start, can you kindly hit that subscribe button? Give this video a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And please, let's hit that subscribe button. Let's get these numbers up. My numbers are down, but we need to get them up. Let's get that subscriber count up. Let's get the likes and hit that notification bell too, so you can be notified when there's other videos. And also, I have a real special guest. His name is Kevin McGraffey, and he's here on the show today. And he has a YouTube channel also, and he has an Instagram page. So I want you to go down in that description and subscribe to his channel and listen to his music. This guy is a very talented musician. He plays folk guitar, and he's very, very, very talented. So you will see his music on his Instagram page, okay? Today we have a really special guest. He's a special guest, and he's going to tell us about his experience with Scopolamine in Cartagena, okay? And the reason why I'm doing this video, anybody can get got. Anybody can, I don't care who you are or whatever, anybody can get got. And what's so unique about this video is that it happened in the blink of an eye. It happened very, very fast, okay? It happened very fast. And I named this, actually, I named my thumbnail In the Blink of an Eye, because when he describes it, it happened like almost like, within seconds. This type of thing, if you're not careful, if you don't be aware of your environment, it can happen to you like within a matter of seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I got Kevin McGraffey. He's my special guest, and he's going to tell you his story about his encounter in Cartagena on I think it happened sometime during the evening time or something like that. But he's going to explain to you what happened. So sit back and relax and enjoy the video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to don't forget to subscribe to Kevin McGraffey's YouTube channel and his Instagram also. Okay, y'all, I will see y'all in the next video. And so how you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing fantastic these days. Apart from, well, I'm currently basically I'm a teacher as well as a singer-songwriter. So I just literally
you do songs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I literally just finished my final reports, and I'm going to Mexico this Saturday. So life is good. Life is good, and I just recently had an extremely successful video and song launch called Punk Rock and Blues. Hopefully you can share the song.
Yes, I would definitely.
With your audience. Where
yes,
that was an unbelievable response. I got articles and interviews in over 60 countries. Sorry, in over 13 countries, and in total there were 60 publications. So life is good. Life is good, Tony. As I said, musically, at work, and I'm just about to go and meet my brother in Mexico, and it's a beautiful day here in Cali. As always, the sun is shining.
Oh, so, good. Yeah. Okay, you're in California, right?
No, Cali, Colombia.
Cali, Colombia. Oh, you're Cali, Colombia. Oh, yes, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. How's things in Cali, Colombia right now?
Things are good. Things are fantastic. I've been living in Cali now for 13 and a half years. I arrived here in July 2009. Okay. So yeah, I'm loving life. Cali, for anyone that's listening or watching, it's just a really vibrant tropical city. It's really, what's really big here is sort of dancing, particularly salsa. Great climate. There's a lot of mountains and rivers around it, so it's beautiful in terms of nature. Okay. And the people from Cali, out of all the places I've been in Colombia, and in fact, I think all around Latin America, I think Caleños are the kindest and friendliest people. So you ever get a chance and you're in Colombia, come and visit Cali, and also any
yes, that's gonna be my next spot.
If you want, no problems at all. I can help you out.
Right. Have you ever been to Medellin before? Have you ever been?
Oh yeah, but
okay.
I love Medellin. I haven't been in a while. The last time I was in Medellin was last October.
Okay.
But I do love Medellin. It's one of my favorite parts of Colombia. Beautiful city.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, well, guys, make sure you hit his check his channel out. It's in the description, And I really want to hear more about your music too. I'm gonna send it to my subscribers. Okay.
Thanks very much, Tony.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Okay. I know I listened to your story about what happened to you, about your experience with scopolamine. So just tell us exactly, the story of what happened and how did this happen?
Yeah, so basically it happened October 2020. So it was basically Colombia actually had one of the longest lockdowns in the world. We had a very, very long lockdown.
Yes.
So we were just coming out of lockdown, and so I wanted to travel to Cartagena.
Okay.
I was traveling with, I was meeting up with a friend, my friend Sid, other guy from Ireland. He was going there with his girlfriend, who just recently actually proposed to her.
Oh,
so
okay. Congratulations.
He was there with his now fiance.
Okay.
So they were, they'd gone a couple of days earlier, and then I was to meet them in Cartagena. So basically, yeah, I'd been there. I think the first day I arrived, was out with my friend Sid, his girlfriend. Went to the beach, and then later on that night, I've been to Cartagena many times, so I know the city well, and
okay.
I also know it does have its dodgy spots, and you have to be quite vigilant. And there's a lot of sort of prostitution and drug dealers,
pandering too,
and pimps and stuff there in the center around the clock tower. So
yes,
I know the score, let's say. So anyway, I was there having a beer with my friend Sid. There's this really cool salsa bar, so we're just sitting having a beer, and then we got approached by these couple of girls. We just started chatting very informally, and one of them. One of them was just saying, okay, how long are you going to be here for? And I was like, oh, I'm going to be here for a couple of days. And she was like, oh, do you want to meet up while you're here? I was like, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
And then so we exchanged numbers, and that was it. Basically, there was no real alarm for me in any way to feel any alarm bells. Possibly, I guess it's not that common for girls to approach you, but it has happened before. So I mean, didn't seem to me anything sort of very strange about that.
So it was two girls, right? It was two girls.
Two girls, yeah, two girls.
Okay.
My friend Sid was leaving the next day, but I was by myself at this stage, and so the next day I just went to the beach with my guitar, just chilling on the beach all day, and then this girl finally messaged me around lunchtime when we were chatting. Yeah, and as I said, they seemed totally normal.
Right.
Again, knowing the situation in Cartagena, and particularly, meeting strangers, let's say, I said, let's meet at my hotel. Where I was staying in the neighborhood of Gethsemane.
Yeah. Okay.
So I said you take all these precautions. I said, let's meet at my hotel. We'll have a couple of drinks and then we'll go for dinner. So then she called over at my hotel, and there was an issue with her ID. It was, I think she said, she had lost the ID, her Colombian ID, but she had this what's called a contraseña here, which is a provisional one while you get the next one. So I guess there is maybe a potential. Was that a bit strange? I was like, oh, well, not really, but I guess looking back, that could have been a red flag. But it's not enough to say, okay, that's it. We're done here. You need to go. There was nothing there. But anyway, so she couldn't. She wasn't allowed into the hotel then. So I said, look, that's not where we'll go into the center then.
Okay.
So in Cartagena, there's this area very, very central. There's a clock tower, and then there's a bridge. Well, almost like a bridge, and it's a very open and public space.
Okay.
Where people go there. You'll see quite a few people there at night, or particularly around sort of 6 to 7, whenever the sun's coming down. It's a nice place to go there and have a drink or something and have a chat on. There's a lot of different benches. People sit there and have a drink.
Okay.
have a drink on the benches. Something I've actually done. I had every time I've gone to Cartagena, I've done that. At different times of the day. It's just a totally normal thing to do. So anyway, I started chatting with the girl. I think we've sort of been talking about 5 or 10 minutes, and things were going well. We're even kissing. I was like, oh, this is a nice holiday romance development here. Thinking, this is all good. I'm liking this.
All right, can I ask a question? Did the girl, did she look real normal? Did she look like an escort or anything? Was
no,
she
see, that's something that I would be able to tell straight away. I live in Cali. I live in Cali, and I've been in Colombia since 2009. So if it was a girl that was really, really, no, she was dressed totally quite informally. Wasn't wearing a really, high class outfit. I think, she was basically just wearing jeans and on a top. So
in the top, that just looked normal. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing, because if someone is, if a girl, if it's a working girl,
right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we just sat down, we're chatting, and as I say, after about sort of 5 or 10 minutes, I was like, "Do you want a drink?" And she said, "Yeah, let's have a drink." So I got us a couple of drinks from the street vendor, and a couple of beers, the local beer Aguila, a couple of cans, and then so we just started drinking. So that must have been about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of being and just sitting down on this bench. It was around 6:30 p.m. at this stage. And then she said, "Okay, I recognize one of my friends over there. Do you mind if she comes and says hello?" I said,
"Oh, okay."
I was like, yeah, no problem. So her friend came down, sat there. So I was sort of in between these two girls, started chatting.
Okay.
And then literally we were talking about 2 minutes, and I swear I don't remember anything for basically it must have been about 5 hours. The next thing I remember was waking up. Well, obviously not waking up, because whenever you're on a scopolamine, you're totally conscious. You don't fall. It's not like date rape or something like that, where you're groggy.
Okay.
The next thing I can let's just say the next thing I can remember must have been around 11 or 11:30. I can remember. I was in this taxi. I just totally had no idea. Very groggy. I just remember being in this taxi and the guy eventually leaving me at my hotel, and him saying, "Look, this guy, he's been robbed. He doesn't know where he is, but I've been driving him around for a long time now, and I need my money."
Mm-hmm.
So I had some cash up in my room. So I remember just sort of very quickly going upstairs, getting the cash, paying the taxi driver, went back up to bed, and then that was it. So next morning I woke up and I had that realization, like, oh, I knew obviously what had happened. So
okay,
I had gone to bed, then realized I'd been robbed, right? So it was like, well, where's my phone? Don't have my phone, I actually had my wallet, but there's nothing in it. I had an empty wallet and no phone, so I knew that it had been robbed. I was like, oh shit, obviously this is not good. So I remember going down to the reception, explaining what had happened, and they kindly let me use their laptop. I went on, checked my bank balance and whatever. So basically, here we have pesos. So a peso is basically $1 is around 5,000 pesos.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I had approximately sort of 60 million pesos in my account, and from what I saw on the screen initially, I had 40 million pesos. So I thought that I'd been robbed. This is what I imagined, that I'd been robbed 20 million pesos. So about, doesn't sound a lot. Maybe when you translate it to dollars, but here that's a lot of money. So I was like, oh, I was just like, oh, this is a nightmare. But anyway, I was just really glad that it was over, and I was, that I was in, that I was healthy, and I didn't suffer any physical or mental trauma. So then basically what I did there, I canceled my cards, and then immediately, because I went out with my debit card and I had my credit card upstairs, when of course it should have been, obviously hindsight is a great thing. It should have been the other way. Go out with the credit card and not with the debit card, but you live and you learn, don't you?
Right.
So anyway, I went into the center then, and got myself a new phone, then went to the bank, and then it was only when I went to the bank and obviously explained what had happened. And I got a new new debit card, and then it was only then I said, could you give me a list of my transactions, because obviously I was robbed last night.
Yes.
And could you tell me how much I have left in my account, just to confirm? And they say, sir, you have 40,000 pesos in your account. So I thought I had 40 million. Yeah,
What?
so it was just obviously, because I'd woken up that particular morning and I was a bit groggy. I didn't look at the screen. I didn't look at my bank account correctly. Yes. So I thought at 40 million when it was 40,000. So basically you're talking the difference of approximately $8,000 to having $8, right? So there's this one. So there was this, but I was just like, I could not believe, so they totally cleaned my account, And then, so I just, so basically I, talking to the bank, how the hell can this, so a bit of a meltdown for about a minute, but then I got my thoughts together. I was like, right, look, I need to get myself together. I'm not going to let this affect me at all, and I just sort of, something changed in me straight away. It's like almost as a sort of defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So then I sort of calmed down. I was like, okay, so let's go through, look at the transactions, go to the police, blah blah blah. Went to the police. That was just a joke. They didn't do anything.
Oh wow. So the police didn't do the police
no. And the bank as well. The bank, of course, said it was, it was basically called Bank Colombia. It's the biggest bank in Colombia.
Yeah, I've been to
them. Bank of America.
Yes.
So basically, they just said, yeah, there's nothing we can do. It was, that was pretty much it. That was not even we're really, really sorry, or we should, I was like, why didn't you block my card? Why didn't you do all this, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, they didn't want to know. The police, that was an absolute joke. One of the police, they even, whenever I gave the details, they actually even knew who it was. I remember they showed me a picture. Is this the girl? I was like, yeah, that's her. They knew who it was, yet I don't know how the legal system works, but they couldn't actually go apparently and arrest this girl. So that was basically how I left things in Cartagena. And then when I got back to Cali, then of course, then I started with the investigation and reflecting on everything that had happened. So firstly, just going back to how could it have happened? It's a bit of a mystery, but I'm guessing that probably I got it sometime in some way in the drink. Maybe the vendor was in on it. Whenever I got back, I realized that the transactions were generally made in bogus places, places that don't even exist. So there were pretty much all of the transactions were done with my card.
Okay.
So for anyone that doesn't know anything about scopolamine, basically it's basically you could not fabricate a more perfect drug to commit any of these types of crimes of robbery or even rape. So what it does is it works pretty much immediately.
Okay.
The person is under the effect very quickly. They have no realization. It makes the person totally lose any memory for many hours.
Okay.
And basically, the thing is, and why it's so effective, is you do not look groggy at all. You look totally fine. You look,
Wow.
And basically, it's almost like you're hypnotized. If anyone asks you to do something, you'll do it, and with a smile on your face, you will. Whenever this happened, I went, started investigating and finding out a little bit more about scopolamine. And there's cases of people where they literally will go in with these robbers or whatever, and they'll just give them all of the stuff at their house. It's just you literally will do everything that anyone will ask you to do. So I think what's probably happened is they just simply, give us your bank account. Sorry, give us your bank card. Okay, what's your number? And I just basically told them, and they probably just took my card and went all around the city, because they just made all these crazy transactions that were like 50 million pesos in a restaurant, 12,000, $10,000 or $12,000. I mean, who's going to spend that in a restaurant? And then there was these different pharmacies, and it's just all very, very strange transactions that obviously any normal bank would cancel your card.
Yeah, would cancel the card, right? Then
obviously I wrote to the bank, Colombia, and I got a response. They said, "Yeah, dear Mr. McCaffrey, we realize that you did not make these. We can confirm you did not make these transactions, but there's, based on whatever sort of stipulation, we can't in any way give you any reimbursement." So obviously, I'm still fighting this after 2 years, because there is a very, very, very long legal system. And Bank Colombia there's been 2 hearings and they just haven't turned up. So it's just, I've been, it's been a long time coming. But so that's basically the what happened. And then after that, I think exactly what you're doing, Tony, and I really, really appreciate it.
No, thank you, sir.
I decided to do what you're doing, try and raise awareness. And whenever I shared my story, it was just crazy.
Yes.
How many people, even friends of mine, told me that they had been a victim of this. This happens. The stereotype here in Colombia is that it only happens to sort of drunken foreigners. No, this happens to young people, old people, men, women, foreigners, Colombians. It's a massive epidemic.
Right.
And as we were just talking before coming on the show, it's getting worse. And it's just one of these, it's the pink elephant in the room that no one in Colombia wants to talk about. I haven't heard any politicians talking about this, any mayors. And particularly, it's a massive problem in Medellin and Cartagena. It happens a bit in Cali and Bogota, but it's more Medellin and Cartagena because that's where there's a bigger concentration of foreigners and tourists. However, as I say, in my case, I have and I'd say basically there is no one here should feel ashamed. I mean, at the end of the day, you're a victim of a crime. No matter if you put yourself in a situation, number one, you're a victim of a crime, and no one deserves that. No matter how much you let your guard down. I think that's one thing that needs to be absolutely clear, because 95% of the people, whenever I shared my story, were like that and very supportive and empathetic. But there were a few idiots saying, that's all your fault and you're stupid. But if anyone's listening or they know someone, you're a victim. It's not something that should be happening. You should be able to go and meet a girl or meet anyone,
right,
or in any circumstance, and not expect that something like this that's going to happen. However, of course, now we know that it happens on a daily basis. In my case, it happens 6:30 in the middle of the day in a totally public space, public space. Sorry.
Right.
And I was totally sober. So, I mean, there are situations whereby I'd say it is common in a discoteca, in a club or whatever. And maybe, that's a bit more common. But as I say, in my case, it was just totally that. And I've heard people happen, at an ATM machine or outside a public area or in a park. It just happens everywhere.
Like they can blow the dust in your face, can't they? Is that true?
They can do that. They can do that, but I think it's a lot more common when it's just administered, through a drink is probably the most common and easy way. But as I say, I don't, as soon as apart from that 1 minute meltdown that I had when I realized all my money was gone, I just realized, I just realized and wanted to make sure this wasn't going to define me or anything like that. And it was a massive learning experience. More than anything, after investigating and hearing a lot of these stories, I just felt relieved. And that's, I did not have any physical or mental trauma from that. That can really, really leave people. It can really mess you up. And I was just really lucky that didn't. Physically, I woke up. I was a little bit, groggy and shaken up a bit, but luckily there was no lasting effects.
Okay.
And
thank God.
Exactly, and it's made me more vigilant. And by helping and by sharing my story, I've been able to help, many other people to be more vigilant as well. Maybe not just in Colombia, but everywhere in general. You just always be, as careful as you can, because you never know. You never know who you deal with, particularly if it's a stranger. But on the other hand, at the end of the day, there shouldn't be anything. There shouldn't be anything wrong with just meeting a girl and going for a drink. So there needs to be a bit of balance there. You can't be totally being 100% cynical and thinking that everyone's bad. But as I say, I have zero. I'm not bitter about the experience. I have, in fact, as I say, it's been a lot more of a positive and an eye opener, and just made me so much appreciative of a lot more things in my life. Because I do think it could have gone a lot worse. For example, the guy that happened there, your American brother. That unfortunately was killed as a result of this. We were talking.
It was two more too. In November, there was like maybe 3 that died from Scopolamine. I don't know if you remember, there's a guy called the Medellin Guru. He's an older guy.
I do, yes.
Yeah, they found him expired in his apartment from Scopolamine overdose.
Yes. I had no idea. He also did.
Yeah, and then there was another guy, another older, elderly guy. They found him overdose with Scopolamine. So was getting scared because, like I said, I've been to Colombia multiple times. I used to hear about scopolamine, people, get drugged. Okay, that's it. But now, so what's scary now is that they're actually dying from it. They're actually either they end up in the hospital for multiple days, or they have undesired side effects from it. You know what I'm saying? Where they're disabled. There was a guy that was in the hospital. His mother had to come from the States and get him and bring him back home. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I
it's
mean
getting, it's getting,
yeah, it's heartbreaking.
yeah.
It really is.
Yes, yes. Now getting back to those two girls, okay. Excuse me. I remember when I was in Medellin, and I was supposed to I had a birthday party. It was two girls was coming to the hotel, and that's the reason why I stay at hotels, because they told me that only one person is allowed to go back up into the room with you. You know what I'm saying? Two girls? No. They say only one person, one guest. They never allow you to have two guests because scopolamine is getting so bad. It's getting so bad there in Medellin. So the two girls that came and sat at the bench, you say you had one on the right and one on the left, and next thing you know, you say you just don't remember nothing, just like that.
Seriously, I swear to God, it was literally must have all happened within. I think we were talking for a maximum, at least from what I can remember. But it only seemed that we were talking for literally a few minutes, and then literally after that, I was in a taxi. I swear to God, that's exactly it. Boom, just if I can sort of remember, very hazy memory. I do sort of have this sort of sensation and memory that I think I could feel myself getting sort of, let's say, groggy or something like that.
Okay, okay.
I think there's something there, now that I'm retelling it again after so long. But yeah, it was literally that, a few minutes of being, and boom, hours later, you're in a taxi, you have no idea where you are. That was my experience. So I have no idea exactly, for example, how it went down, who else was involved, how they got my card, how they were going all these places.
Wow.
Did I go with them? How did I even end up in a taxi? Was the taxi driver involved? I have bloody no. I will never know. Yeah, we'll never know.
Well, so how did when all your money was gone? Did somebody have to send money to you? How did you get help?
No, look, as I said, luckily I had my. Luckily also I only had one more night in Cartagena, so I did have my credit card, like I was saying, so I was able to draw. Yeah, but now another thing that I've learned, and as I say, you live and you learn. What else can you do? There's no point in getting angry over that. But if you go out, people that are listening, it's much better to go out with a credit card than a debit card. And in fact, better to go out with cash if you have to go out with, even if something that you don't know. From now on, I wouldn't go out with. I would never go out with. I always try and avoid going out with my bank cards anywhere I go, but particularly when I'm on holidays and when I don't know anyone that I'm going out with.
Yeah, okay.
But better to have cash. I think it's better to have cash.
Okay. So, anything else you want to say about how can? Okay, for what I'm hearing too. Okay, other Colombians are telling me the reason why this is happening too. I want you to give your feedback on this. They say that the tourism is changing, and Colombians are telling me that a lot of foreigners are coming down there for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? They call it trash tourism. That's what Colombians call it. And they say a lot of them, they say a lot of them are coming down there just for the sex and things like that. What do you think about that? Do you think that could be contributed to this possibly?
I think that's definitely a factor, but I mean, Colombian tourism has had a massive boom recently, and there's many reasons for that. It's one of the most amazing countries you could visit,
Right.
And I hope that our topic is not putting anyone off. And Colombia it's the most, after Brazil, it's the most biodiverse country in the world. It's just got everything. It's got mountains, it's got beaches, it's got beautiful cities. The architecture, nature-wise, is stunning.
Right.
People, and the most special thing about Colombia, of course, is its people. Very, very vibrant and friendly and generous, and they love foreigners. They really do. So Colombia, and it depends on where you are in the country. For example, actually in Cali, a lot of people pass through Cali because they want to learn to dance, particularly salsa.
Okay, salsa, yes, salsa, yes.
So it depends on what you're looking for in tourism. Generally, people get off and sort of do the north coast, a lot more of the sort of beach vibe.
Okay.
But of course, as you say, there is that darker side of tourism, but that's always been here. But maybe is it growing? It's hard for me to. I don't have the figures, but maybe that is one of the factors is that it's simply because Colombia's having more tourism that maybe that's creating more people that do that because they see more of a market. Now that could certainly be a factor. Said it doesn't really happen so much in Cali. People come up with the sort of the sex and drug tourism. It happens a bit, but I do hear more stories. And in fact, when you go to Medellin, Parque Lleras, which is it is a bit. See, Cali doesn't have anywhere like, as I say, the main clock area in Cartagena.
Okay.
Is where all the tourists go, and then Parque Lleras. In these two areas, you're going to see pimps, you're going to see prostitutes, you're going to see people trying to sell you drugs.
Okay.
You don't really have anywhere like that in Cali. So, as I said, I do think that has to be a factor. But yeah, hopefully by sharing our stories and anecdotes, this can help at least a few people along the way. The response I've got, it seems to be quite a big thing nowadays.
Yes, it is.
I just did this video a couple of years ago on my phone, right?
Yes.
I've got like 110,000 views on my channel, for that video.
Okay.
Which is
that's great.
Which is a lot more than any of my music videos.
Yeah.
Which is great.
You're very good. You're very talented.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Tony.
Okay.
So obviously there is a lot of this happening, and there's also a lot of interest in the topic as well, because I just don't think enough people are talking about it, particularly in Colombia. I do think there needs to be a lot of campaigns and people actually talk about this epidemic, because that's what it is. This doesn't happen. It's not happening in the vast majority of countries in the world, but why does it happen so much in Colombia? It happens a bit in other countries. Like I think it's produced, or it's not that it's produced. I think you can get it, or it's quite common in Ecuador.
Ecuador,
and a couple of other countries, and it is happening a little bit more in Europe, another part, maybe in the US, but it's not a very common thing. It's very, very, it's almost endemic to Colombia. So it's a bit of a crazy phenomenon.
Yeah, because what I heard, what I got from the last interview I did with Anita, she said that Scopolamine has been there for years.
Oh yeah, it's
always been here. And she said that what's happening is that the tourists that are coming down here are clashing with the culture of scopolamine. It's like, how can I say? It's like she blames it on the truck. She said if you come down to Colombia with the right intentions and do I know that get you here for the right intentions, but she said most of the people that comes down to Colombia has the wrong intentions when they come down there. And she said Colombia do not want those type of tourists.
I think I would disagree with that personally. After living here for 13 years, the vast majority of people that I meet and come to Colombia are not there for
the sex tourism and stuff like that.
No. Not at all. Not at all, but particularly in Cali.
Okay.
Now it happens. Of course it does. But the vast majority of people that you meet in Colombia that are traveling, and even domestic tourism, no one is. The vast majority of people are there for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
And to see all of the most amazing and wonderful aspects of Colombia and the culture and its people. That's what people are there for.
Okay.
But there is a select number of people, of course, that come here for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
So it is unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess.
Okay. Well, anything else I'm not gonna hold you. I appreciate you for coming on my show. And guys, make sure you hit the link, Kevin's link down at the description. I'm gonna put all your information in the description, okay? All your information.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tony, and I really appreciate you reaching out and having me on the show, and hopefully together, through this video and interview, we can help a few other people along the way. And,
If you ever want me to come on your show or anything I can do for you.
Fantastic. And of course as well, Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sorry. When I come to Cali, I'm gonna look you up. Okay, give me a
That's
tour
what
of
I was going
Cali.
to say. That's what I was going to say.
I've never been to
Well,
Cali, but I heard so much about Cali,
no,
Colombia.
man, Cali's fantastic. Cali's fantastic. You love it here, and yeah, I'll definitely be able to show you a few of the sites in Cali and meet some of my friends and everything. You'll have a wonderful time. So, yeah, thanks for everyone as well for watching and listening. And please, it'd be great if you could check out more, you know, my music stuff. Okay, you can find the video, of course, of what happened to me in Cartagena, but please check out my music. I really appreciate it. And if anyone wants to reach out or ask anything about my experience or living life in Colombia or my music, anything at all, you know, I would be more than willing to help out and respond, of course.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, sir. And like I said, my subscribers, make sure you hit that link down in the description and check out Kevin's music. He's a very talented guy, very nice guy, and we appreciate him on the show today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tony. Have a fantastic week, and we'll be in touch. Hope to see you in Cali in 2023.
Okay, you too. Okay, no doubt. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.